I'm kind of like I think people like Michael as a kind of a unique kind of character.
And I have
I love
You just see how games and possessions fit into how they mean more.
I'm not putting him on.
I think the U.S. is going to all of a sudden.
Among the many questions we are going to answer today, one of them is going to be, why do we think it took Patrick Beverley 4 hours to finish the film Looper? I say this because today I am joined, as always, by Patrick Redford, but we have a special guest. We have Eddie Averill, the co-host of the Extended Clip podcast, writer of the Vintage Violence Substack, at Real Hooper Movie on Twitter, which tells you pretty much everything you need to know. But what I want to start with is your kind of quasi-secret moonlight gig as one of the admins of the now defunct and like legitimately beloved and legendary Twitter account at NBA Film Tweets. So first of all, Patrick, good to see you. Eddie, welcome to the show. But Eddie, like, how did you come up with this Twitter account? Because it is genius.
This feels like the interview that and this is really dating myself as a millennial hipster, but like in the late 2000s, Connor Oberst from Bright Eyes would always be like, why is it people always want to ask me about that song Lowe? That's our big hit, and it's just something I tossed off like bullshit. And I've been doing all these great songs for 20 years, and everyone always asks me about Lowe. I've been doing film criticism for so long and not really writing about basketball, but it is by far the most successful online film criticism type endeavor I've done. Like to the point where like Benny Safdie and Bill Simmons were like big fans of it and like faving pretty consistently. And I was like, Jesus Christ, how do I leverage this? And you don't leverage it. You just don't. You let it lie there. But it came out of a group chat. And I can't take full responsibility either. That would be ridiculous. It came out of a legendary film group chat that's been going for like 8 years now with elusive journalist Sean Craig, who some know him as a European-based U.S. journalist. Some know him as a mythical figure in the cancel culture sphere. And I'll leave it at that. And then another guy who nobody knows his real name, not even me, who's talked to him every day for about 10 years now. But he goes by the name of the French singer Serge Gainsbourg. So
that's Roman Polanski. I'm so sorry to tell you.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Like, if you knew the Sean Craig legacy, like he is Roman Polanski's lawyer, basically. That's the inside joke, is that he's Roman Polanski's lawyer. He's not actually, people. Let's not get him fired from his job at whatever blog it is he writes at these days. Sean Craig kind of left us in the dust there, but the long and short of it is that we all forgot the password, and so none of us can tweet from that account anymore. But yeah, we were just like riffing about fucking NBA players watching movies because like Rashawn Holmes was always tweeting about movies. Like, yes. Rashawn Holmes is the MVP of the account by far.
I was gonna ask you, yeah,
Rashawn Holmes, Dwayne Wade, like a lot of guys, like kind of the tweener of the millennials and the young Gen Zs are like kind of like those guys were just killing it. And then you get the modern players and they're not funny at all on Twitter because Twitter is their actual life, like, or the internet is their life or whatever in the media sphere. Whereas like 2011, Russell Westbrook could just tweet like, who's going to the movies with me tonight? No homo,
I've loved this account forever, and like what I kind of like about it is like exactly what you said. Like, it crystallizes this moment in time where like you can see like Miles Turner complaining, like not complaining but celebrating getting to watch Elf in third period or whatever.
Yes.
And it's like, oh yeah, this guy was like in the 11th grade like 10 years ago. Like it's a good forced perspective thing.
No, and we're going to eventually talk about Marty Supreme and sort of the postmodern celebrity. And this is like because of the obvious fact that they did not know that they were going to be NBA players when they were tweeting these things.
Yeah.
There's just this like incredible innocence to the entire thing. And then
can I tell you my one really dark moment on this account where I removed myself as admin briefly?
Of course, please.
Because a lot of them were like, after we were really getting the hang of it, we were going somewhat topical. You know, it was like if a player went off, we would make sure, because we had a giant Google Doc. We had a fucking gigantic Google Doc. And so it was like organized enough. So if like James Harden dropped a triple double, we could post 8 James Harden things right away, you know? And so after LeBron broke the scoring record, and this is, look, I'm coming to you clean and sober, but this was when I was at the pits of my cynical substance use. LeBron breaks the scoring record, and for some reason, I think it would be ironic and darkly funny to post the tweet where he said, after the Aurora, Colorado shooting at the Batman movie, where he said, man, it doesn't even feel safe to go to the movies anymore. And so I reposted that to like celebrate him beating the record, and it's the only time that account ever got any negative pushback. Like, I was like, all right, guys, I'll step away. I thought that was funny. Apparently I'm the only one who thought that was funny.
Yeah, you might be. What I kind of like about it is that, like, I feel like when you're a young basketball fan, you see these NBA players and you realize like they're traveling more than anyone. You think just like, what do you do if you have like 9 hours to kill in Salt Lake City? Like, you go to the movies. So there was, and like maybe not anymore since they on their damn phone, but I wonder if there was like a time in, I guess maybe this time in American life when like basketball players were some of our preeminent cinephiles and like almost movie critics. Like Rashawn Holmes probably saw more movies and expressed his movie opinions to more people short of anyone than like a newspaper critic in 2014, you know?
Absolutely. And I think that like there's still a touch of that, but guys are just too media trained and too social media trained, like especially because we got a tiny hint of it when, and this is a great phenomenon to talk about, those Letterboxd top 4 videos, when the Brooklyn Nets did that. Like a couple guys were like, yeah, Dark Knight Rises, duh. Like, you know, it's the best movie ever. I'm like, yes, thank you. This is what we were missing from NBA film tweets. Those guys just know not to tweet that kind of shit though now, you know?
Yeah. No, it's to the point when I used to work with Rex Chapman, I just stumbled into this, but he knows they have seen every movie because to your point, like they just would sit around on car rides and trains and planes and just watch movies all day. And like they are just so awesome. I have a few highlights that I wanted to read and I honestly, like, as I was going, like, I just was laughing to myself. It's they're
every single one is funny. It's like, I have spent hours and hours just scrolling the entire feed multiple times through my life.
Me too.
It's so good.
Okay, I'll give you a few, and then I want to, you already said MVP, but I want to ask some other kind of like award show stuff. The Patrick Beverley saying, so what did he say? About to see the film Looper, and then I did not like the film Looper.
The timestamps are interesting on that too, right? Aren't they like 8 hours apart?
Yes, it took him a long time to finish it. Gordon Hayward with just saw Tron. It was Deece.
Yes.
Tobias Harris, wish I had a date for Taken 2 tonight. Frowny face, #singles tweet. Totally. This is a more modern one that is just bang on the money. Tari Eason, I got money for someone who can privately explain the movie Tenet to me, because even reading about it online to try to figure out what was going on was confusing. Couldn't agree more. And then this was a true laugh out loud moment for me was just a 2012 tweet from Rudy Gobert that just says Mr. Bean, Mr. Bean.
Yes. Oh, that's one of the all-time greats. Oh my God.
Is Rudy Gobert the most Mr. Bean hooper? Because much like Mr. Bean is shown to sort of be like he's just like, he's touched by the hand of God. Like, he has a beautiful life, and yet he's always experiencing various foibles. And it's much like how Rudy Gobert is like this transcendent defensive player who's like always doing the dumbest shit you've ever seen, and every NBA player hates him. Yeah. And like, is that Mr. Am I reading this wrong?
No, you're absolutely right. And the thing is that I'll say this as a point of cultural criticism. I think despite the fact that he is British to the bone, Mr. Bean is very French coded. I think the comedic stylings of Mr. Bean are very Monsieur Hulot, the classic character by Jacques Tati. And like Rudy Gobert could star in a Jacques Tati film, like just ambling around. I mean, like, you watch him out there on offense not knowing what the fuck to do. It is Tati-esque, you know, I would say so.
That's really funny.
I have a couple of favorites that I didn't put in the run of show that I found just scrolling. This is from @RickFox, 4:48 a.m., December 7th, 2014. # Love Actually, best holiday movie. 5:09 a.m., 21 minutes later, # Love Actually.
Well, I love that one too, because Rick Fox is like, he really put time into being an actor. Like, he really wanted to be a real actor. You know, like he's really good on Party Down when he plays himself. When he shows up in other stuff, it's pretty bad. But like in Party Down, he was fantastic. So I like that that's him really studying game tape and being like, you know what? I gotta be like Hugh Grant. Or is it Hugh Grant? I forget who's in that. But yeah, I any awards I'm glad to give out for these, because you just like, you can start describing one and it just pops right back into my head. I'm taken back to my apartment in Glendale in 2021, where I stayed up till 4 a.m. sending screenshots back and forth of these.
Dude, you got to like sell the doc. Like, you could sell the doc as like a paywalled asset for real.
Wait,
like, yeah, keep
Eddie,
going.
can I put you on the spot here?
Sure.
I'm going to read you 2 tweets from Danny Green, and then the third one, he out of nowhere, he characterizes some movie as a quote, a silly ass movie. Danny Green, 8:16 p.m., April 16th, 2011. Think I might fuck with the zoo today. Check out some animals and explore San Ann, ... 3 hours later, 11:26 p.m. Zoo didn't have as many interesting / fun facts as I thought it would. Kind of disappointed. 5:07 a.m. Again, 6 hours later. Name of movie, lol, silly ass movie. This is April 2011.
So that implies that he did not go to the movies, because I was thinking 2011 at first, like what big movies came out in 2011. So I'm thinking it's probably an older comedy movie. Just going by volume of appearances, my first guess would be Life.
It is The Other Guys.
The Other Guys.
Which is a silly ass movie.
That is a silly ass movie. And it is roughly in that time period too. Because I was going to say, like, the biggest trend that I noticed that I love is that they do just watch comedy movie. Like, basketball players do love watching comedy movies from 10 to 15, even 20 years ago.
Yeah.
So Life is actually the most referenced movie of all of NBA film tweets. That is like the #1 movie. And it's like, 3.4 on Letterboxd or so. It's like, no one thinks it's a masterpiece. Some people think it's a masterpiece. I won't put it down, but it's like, that even pops up in like the Letterboxd top 4s where they talk to athletes too. It's a staple for athletes to go back to silly ass movies of the past.
Before we move on, because we should talk about some other stuff at some point.
Yeah.
I have just a question that popped into my head. Has your opinion of a basketball player, like on the court or like as a player, or like their future potential, ever been negatively or positively affected by their cinematic takes?
Oh, that's a good question.
You know what? The one that comes to mind is end of career. This is not like a prospect that I'm judging. This is late period Robin Lopez. Like, he was still getting vet min contracts at this point, right? And like, he's an end of bench guy or whatever, but he's tweeting about Ozu movies. And I'm like, dude, if you're watching Yasujiro Ozu movies, you cannot be on an NBA team. Like, there's no way you're working out enough if you're fucking watching Ozu movies. I watch Ozu movies, sure, but I don't have to be in the best shape of my life for my job, and props to him for doing, and he was doing it in the form of like an old Reddit dad joke too. He's like, watching Tokyo Story tonight. No, not Toy Story. It's actually a movie by Ozu.
I saw him with he had another take that was something. So he was condemning Space Jam, which I thought was
he posed with the big Criterion Godzilla box set. And I was like, dude, I mean, like, it's cool. You can buy all those. Like, you can buy the $400 box sets. Good for you. But you're an NBA player. Get real, man.
That's awesome. Who are the best NBA or WNBA movie performances? You mentioned Rick Fox. Who are some other? I mean, my which we may eventually get to is Anthony Edwards in Hustle. Is
yes,
probably the best performance I've seen from an athlete. I'm curious if you have any other ones.
I'm pulling up the doc right now because I had written one down. But yeah, Ant in Hustle is a really great recent one. I think that he's phenomenal in that movie, and like the reason that it works as well as it does. The one that I will mention negatively, because I'm a critic above all else. This was one of the biggest trends in film criticism and media in general from this year, that not this year, but the year of the film I'm about to discuss, that drove me up the fucking wall. When Trainwreck came out, the Amy Schumer film, every film critic and their mothers was doing a thing where their voice would get a little higher because you knew they were lying. And they'd be like, LeBron's actually pretty funny. Like, he could kind of hold his own with Bill Hader, I'm like, dude, no. LeBron is embarrassing in that movie. It is horrible. LeBron is the worst actor of all time. I think Shaq is awesome in every Adam Sandler movie that he pops up in. I always love seeing him in he's in Grown Ups 2. He throws a dude over a house in that. He's a DJ in he's a cop in Grown Ups 2 who throws a dude over a house. So police brutality, I don't know. It happens. He's a DJ in Hubie Halloween as well. Luke Walton shows up on, I believe it was General Hospital. I remember my mom was really into that show, and she was like, look, it's a guy from the Lakers. And I remember he was good. I was like, damn, all right, okay. Luke.
Damn. Beautiful.
Those are the ones that come to mind immediately.
KG and Uncut Gems, of course.
He's so intense in that movie. He's fantastic.
Yeah, and it's I like
Kareem and Airplane. Obviously, you have to give it to fucking Kareem and Airplane. That is impeccable comedic timing in that scene.
Well, and it's funny, if you go through the general film credits of most NBA players, they're more often than not playing themselves.
Yeah,
but that just means you just kind of show up and say a line or two. But what I like about KG and Uncut Gems is he's playing himself, but it's he's not just playing the persona of KG. He's actually inhabiting old KG and is giving a real performance as the character. The part where he's like, why the fuck would you show me that if I can't have it? You see his the psycho energy of him. You could see him saying that to Wally Zerbiak as he grabs an offensive rebound in front of him or something. It's oh, that's the guy.
Well, I think that's a really interesting thing to point out, because I think that athletes have taken over the movie star roles in general. And I just mean culturally, not in movies, where movie stars up until the kind of modernist era played themselves in everything. You look back, Jimmy Stewart, he's playing Jimmy Stewart. Cary Grant, he's playing Cary Grant. Marlene Dietrich, she's playing Marlene Dietrich, so on and so forth, until the method actors and whatnot, and the mid to late 50s, and then New Hollywood, and acting styles change completely to where you rarely have these kind of stars anymore. That's why it's a perpetual discourse in film criticism that people were like, oh, we don't have real movie stars anymore, because George Clooney is the last one where he kind of just played himself and everything and was always awesome. NBA players are perfect for that because they are their own personas. It's the most direct character-driven sport other than wrestling and boxing and shit. And I hate combat sports, real or fake, so I don't even count those. So it's the most character-driven sport and easily narrativizable. And these guys are so performative, they're so fucking performative. Let me give you a little citation for a little sociology, a little Irving Goffman. You can read The Presentation of Self in Everyday Life by Irving Goffman, and you'll learn about how
Irving Magic Goffman.
Yes, exactly. And you could see that the ways that people present themselves can be so fractured and so really intricate. And I think NBA players are the new classic Hollywood movie stars in that regard.
This is a good take. I feel as a young sports blogger, I hit upon this obvious thing that everyone I think kind of does, where it's in football, there's 11 guys and you can't see any of their faces. In baseball, there's 9 guys and they're more often than not at the plate. Whereas basketball players are on screen all the time. You can see more of their bodies. They're playing a larger role in the offense. So like of any athlete that really does, I guess if you discount combat sports, then it really does make sense. Like I like this take.
No offense to the combat sports listeners out there. I just think that like, oh, wait a second. Are you if you're listening, wipe the drool from the corner of your mouth and like wipe off that monster energy that's fucking drooling from your chin and then come back to me.
Wait,
but
speaking of
regardless.
combat sports movies, and as a segue here, did either of you guys watch The Smashing Machine? Because we talked a little bit about Uncut Gems. We're going to talk about Marty Supreme, but those two movies are on either side of this like Safdie brothers split. And Smashing Machine is the first one made by Benny, I believe, who is an Oppenheimer and is doing a lot more acting. Whereas Marty Supreme was made by Josh.
Which is not his solo debut, to be clear. A lot of people are mistakenly calling that in their reviews when he did make The Pleasure of Being Robbed, and as well as the Lenny Cook story, which is a documentary. But so Josh was like, he's been in it a little longer. And go ahead, Patrick. Sorry, I kind of cut you off there in your setup.
Well, all I was going to say is, what did you guys think of The Smashing Machine? And did it feel in the lineage of the previous two, like big time Safdie movies, or did it feel like sort of a distinct vision that was like departing from not that formula, but like that sort of style?
You go first, Eddie. I haven't seen.
Okay. I think it's an intentional zag. I think Benny Safdie is clearly trying to do something different, which I respect. I also think the movie's really bad, unfortunately. I think that the follow up to Uncut Gems is actually a trifecta of movies from this year, because the other one that people it comes up on a lot of year-end lists for critics is If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You by Mary Bronstein, whose partner is Ronald Bronstein, who wrote all of those Safdie brothers movies with the Safdie brothers and was like very involved from the beginning, and even wrote this new one with Josh. He wrote Marty Supreme and produced If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You, which is very much in the style of Uncut Gems. And to quote my friend Ethan Vespi in his review, it feels a little A24 studio noted to feel that way, to be honest. And I think it's an okay movie. The Smashing Machine, I respect what it does in trying to do something different. However, different is not the right word, because it is a beat-for-beat recreation of the documentary of the same name. So there's nothing new under the sun narratively, and it's more of a Dwayne Johnson movie than a Benny Safdie movie to me. It just feels like a bad Oscar bait star vehicle with a lot of bad anti-drama, where it's like intentionally like you're supposed to just feel beaten up by the end of the movie rather than victorious. And you know, it's a trend that continues in Marty Supreme, and I kind of hate the anti-drama sports approach. I get sick of it. You know, life's miserable enough. I will say that as I left Smashing Machine, I heard Dirty Work by Steely Dan playing in the multiplex, and I was like, oh, I will now sneak into the last hour and a half of One Battle After Another for my fifth viewing of it.
Beautiful. Yeah, well, there you go.
One screening after another.
We are entering the spoiler zone. If you have not seen Marty Supreme, use the well, first of all, I was going to say this about I'm just pushing my own spoiler take out of the side. It's like a Safdie brothers movie. It's like a bunch of crazy shit's going to happen, and either Timmy gets shot in the head or he doesn't. Like, it's like that's you don't need to. You can keep listening, but skip it if you need to. What Patrick and I were talking. We'd both seen the movie over the weekend, and very much like I enjoyed it as a thing. And there's a lot of threads, weirdly, that this podcast has been pulling on, including like Timmy, and I think you're right about this sort of like performance of celebrity and athlete as the new movie stars. Like, this is part of the stuff we're talking about. I think the place to begin, Patrick, you said this in the doc, is like you can draw a direct line between Timmy Chalamet on College Game Day and the release of Marty Supreme as this like long ramp up of the ascendancy, or like the double triple ascendancy of Timmy Chalamet. And there's this obvious synergy where Timmy is a ambitious movie star, and Marty Supreme, the character, is this ambitious, like doing everything I can character. I'm curious if you see it as like, where is the cart and where is the horse here? Is this Timmy method acting and dropping into the Marty Supreme of the run up as a like way to just do his thing? Or is Timmy and that's why he took on Marty Supreme, is because he is this super ambitious dude who is interested in, you know, using his celebrity to platform his own ambition and his own sort of like postmodern explosion. So what do you think?
That's a really interesting question. I would assume the latter, like, and I guess to be clear, like, I don't really have any problem with that. Like, I've been a fan of his since Call Me by Your Name, and I think that movie like established his like persona on, you know, to a mainstream audience sort of for the first time. And it was as this like elfin little soft boy guy. And this is like, in a way that like child stars often have to have some like major break between childhood and adulthood to basically say, I'm a different guy now. Like, we've sort of seen that play out over the past, like the college, I would posit the College Game Day appearance is like the first sort of moment of that. But then between that and the speech where he won Best Actor at some pre-Oscar award show and is basically just gave a like, I'm the GOAT of all time speech. Yeah. Like, that's like something that Marty Supreme would do. And I think it would be maybe overly conspiratorial to like chalk up that turn to like this like genius level, like 12-dimensional chess marketing push for the movie. But like, we all read Sam Bedrosian's review in the LA Review of Books, which I thought like made this very good point of like, basically what Timmy is doing and what the movie is doing, and synergistically like what the marketing with Timmy for the movie is doing is like this very like America in late 2025, like young money hustler thing. Mm-hmm. And so to answer your question, which I think I really blew way past, probably.
Yeah, well, I think it's a little bit of both, honestly. Like, I think it has to be a little bit of both. And a role like this and a film like this, you have to assume is in development by the time he's making those Mamba mindset speeches at the Indie Spirit Awards or whatever, when he's, you know, thanking people for awarding his awful portrayal of Bob Dylan. And I like Chalamet, by the way, but that Bob Dylan movie was, oh my God, fucking kill me. But regardless, I do think it's a little bit of both. And I think that for my qualms with the Safdie approach to casting, I think they know exactly what they're doing in terms of bigger movie stars. And I think Chalamet is like perfect for this because of that. And I think that there's a little bit of, just a little bit of both, I think, where the film influences his mindset and the mindset influences the casting decision. And, you know, it's like he's already, you know, dressing like a hype beast teenager when he's like promoting the Bob Dylan movie. Like he's always going to be like this kind of. And, you know, a lot of film critics really took issue with that speech in particular. They were like, this is how an athlete talks, not how an artist talks. And I'm like, all right, well, first of all, actors are not artists. They're fucking sheep. They're cattle. They're not to get on my Hitchcock horse too high, but regardless, I don't know.
That's
I think
interesting.
That, like, wanting to be great is like, that's fine. That's fine. But also it is the movie. That is the American dream and the fallacy of it and everything like that. Like the only way not to go to Mark Fisher, but the only way we can imagine moving forward is to be the most successful capitalist there is, you know? And so it all plays into the movie. And sometimes I feel that can be a little defeatist, like where it's like, so it is about young money hustlers because in 2025, late capitalism, everything's freaking heckerino garbage and we have to just give ourselves over to capitalism. And it's like, fuck you. No, we don't. I don't think we do. Then again, I live at my dad's house. So
Well,
so it's all contradicting, you know.
To your point about film critics taking issue with Timmy behaving like an athlete, I think that actually circles perfectly right back around to something you were saying earlier about how like athletes, like the sort of role of like basketball players as new movie stars. And it's basically like Timmy, like I think consciously understanding that and like behaving as such. And like, I think this is where like watching sports forces you to do a lot of separating art from artists, not in terms of like, Kobe's a rapist, but I love his game, but more like, I find like Joel Embiid personally annoying, but like his game is amazing. Where like with Timmy, it's like, okay, maybe the marketing is whatever, but like to me, the thing that matters is not his persona, it's his performance. And I thought as Marty Mauser, ping pong player, young money getter, I thought he was awesome. He was like so funny. Just the way he was interacting and bouncing off the scenery, like he just brought everything. I mean, I'm not a film critic, but like I thought it was great.
No, I think his performance is great. I have issues with the movie as a whole. I think it's a really good movie and it's an entertaining movie. It's a very strong movie. I try to look at things kind of on a historical level though, always. I think that's the biggest problem with film criticism is that people conflate it with film journalism and it should and also consumer reports, which I think both are things that film criticism should not be. I think film criticism should be more like art history and literary criticism. So you should always be looking back as well. So it's like, yeah, I gave Marty Supreme a 3.5 out of 5 because it's not fucking The Searchers or 2001: A Space Odyssey. But I think it's a really strong, flawed film. My flaws come more down to artistic decisions by Josh Safdie, much more than Timothée Chalamet. I think he is supreme.
Wow.
A thing I wanted to talk about this, the Timmy kind of celebrity of it all, to your point, is like, because so again this LA RB review discusses this, and there's you can kind of feel this in the lead up to the movie, the marketing, etc. Is there's this like riff, like, I don't want to get too kind of abstract here, but there is a clear kind of like riffing on postmodernism. Like we're gonna cast these people that know they're celebrities and we know they're celebrities, and there's even this other level where like we're gonna cast like downtown scenesters and we're gonna cast Naomi Fry and like all this stuff. This is like a very clear, almost like Straussian, like if you know supercharge thing. And we're going to just like lean into that. And I happen to like that kind of thing. And I found Timmy's like embodiment of that and like mega flex of his own celebrity to be this thing where like in our world that is so dominated with this kind of subtle nudging toward clout and celebrity and like, the fact that we are building our own discrete brands, but like we can't say and I mean that as like a writer, as a podcaster, but also, whatever, like we're tech companies are hiring storytellers now, like that's, if you want to kick up, like it's a helpful thing to get your clout up, but it's also this like thing that people are feel conflicted about. Timmy going all in on just like cathartically owning his own knowledge of his own celebrity and like taking it, to 11, rest in peace, Rob Reiner. It is fun. People like that. Like people feel the catharsis that comes from being like, I'm a fucking celebrity and like, look at me manipulate my own celebrity in this fun way that you can only get to if you are so honest with yourself about your own celebrity. I think it's the same reason people really liked pre-anti-Semitic Kanye.
I think normal people love it. It's really just a film critic thing. I think film critics just like are fucking stupid for the most part. So
they're not tweeting like Rashawn Holmes. Yeah,
exactly. There's no one in the film criticism game tweeting about Precious as much as Rashawn Holmes did.
Precious,
except maybe Armand White, but Armand White. That's a story for another day.
Ooh, something I want to talk about with this movie is like, I would like to make the case that Marty Supreme is not a sports movie. There's ping pong at the very start and at the very end, and it is largely incidental to like the substance of the movie in a way that I found that this had more in common with like, I saw it with friend of the program, Tommy Craigs, and he said basically this is inside Llewyn Davis with ping pong. And I thought it's like, just as Llewyn Davis is shown to be amazing at playing guitar and it doesn't matter, and Adam Sandler in Uncut Gems is shown to be this like god level gambler and it doesn't matter. It's like Marty Mauser's actual ping pong abilities are taken such as granted. There's no training montage. We don't see him like become who he is. It's just basically like it's okay. Sorry to do a fourth thing, but it's like Mark Wahlberg and his dick in Boogie Nights, where it's like he's got a talent. and that's just established as what it is. And then the movie is about like sort of like what happens around that rather than like how he uses it. Does that, and like that
makes
seems
sense, yeah.
not like what a sports movie is that
well, yeah,
wrong?
that's what I was referring to earlier with the smashing machine, and I think Marty Supreme does that better. The anti-drama, you know, it's the anti-hero concept, it's the anti-drama, the anti-climax, the anti-sports movie. It's an anti-sports movie, and I think that like knowing that going in helps viewers probably. I think it'll help me on a rewatch. Frankly, I am like a sports movie nut. Like that's like one of my favorite genres going back to classic Hollywood days. Like the video essay I sent you guys that I made a while back, it's like mainly 30s movies, you know, that's why people don't watch it. But regardless, like I think it's interesting because that's how you can get at a better character study. And yet the ping pong is the structure of the movie. It's beginning and end. The middle of the movie is literally his journey to get to the next ping pong match, you know, and everything does ride on this. And it is only like the big revelation is that, of course, ping pong is not the most important thing in the world and that he is not the most important person in the world, you know? And yet I still can't help pick nits when there is at least 30 minutes of ping pong in this movie. Or no. 30 minutes of things set at ping pong tournaments. That's what I will say. The ping pong itself, I wrote about this in my review, and I get that it's not the aims of the film, and I'm asking for something else. But it's not dramatically enough shot for me. And the long takes are impressive, but also how impressive is it when they're doing it without a ball? You know, it's like, it's impressive choreography and impressive CG work, but like, you know, you're not playing. Show me if you're really method with it, Timmy, show me the action.
I agree. How I got at this idea was leaving the film and being like, like they didn't really do one of those shots where like the camera's the ping pong ball.
Oh, well, thank God they didn't do that. That's corny as hell. And I liked Challengers, but I literally did the jerk off motion when that happened in Challengers. And I just think that like there's so much room for just like one fucking close up of a ball on a paddle, like because you're meant to fucking buy into these dramatic long rallies. It's not like they're like just jerk off moments. There are real moments in the drama of the movie. It's just that obviously the personal drama takes precedence.
Right. Yeah.
What makes ping pong and sort of tennis these perfect stand-ins is like those are essentially combat sports. Like it's one-on-one. It's like you're playing against the other person, but really like the limits of your play are just like only yourself, your own mental and physical limitations. So I think as a dramatic device, like that type of sport does like map cleanly onto like a dramatic form, like a movie.
Absolutely. And I like boxing movies too. Don't get me wrong. I just don't like boxing itself. But like you're absolutely right where tennis and ping pong and in some circumstances golf are great sports for sports movies because of the individualist, the one-on-one aspect of it. And not just movies, but literature as well. Like, you know, there's like 50-page passages in Infinite Jest on one tennis match. And it's like the most compelling shit in the book, you know?
Yeah.
I'm trying to think any other. You had one. I want to read a few of your quotes from your quick review that you had in on your Substack, which everybody should go check out. The first one was Marty Supreme, if you don't know, follows Marty Mauser, a shoe salesman with a terminal case of the Mamba mindset, a quarter odd century before Kobe was born. There's what I liked so much about this movie and what I related to was the kind of like total psycho level ambition on display.
Yeah.
And I do think that is what people marketed about Kobe Bryant. Yeah. And as I'm thinking of, and, you know, seemed to disseminate via the Lakers state apparatus that this was in fact true. It is kind of interesting that you don't hear about that. Like it is shifted. Like the apparatus is now saying that LeBron is playing 5-dimensional chess on the court, but it's not saying like he's a fucking psycho. Or like
they're not
he's
saying
this-
LeBron's in the gym shooting 8,000 free throws a night like they used to lie about. The Kobe thing, it was so funny. Those anecdotes were always like your dad walking both ways uphill in the snow to school, where it's like, Kobe shot 8,000 free throws a night. And it's like, yeah, you literally can't do that. Like that takes too long.
You would need 35 balls. Well, because I do think that and I think what one of the things I like about about Marty Supremus is like it dives directly at the concept of this sort of like American ambition and like shows the real values of the real good things that can come out of like running headfirst into kind of American capitalist American ambition. And then of course like the downsides or the more confusing parts about it. But there's such I feel like there's such a dearth of people maybe in circles I run in are like brave enough to just be like, yeah, there are some like awesome things about being psychically ambitious. And like, these are why we like athletes and why we like, why we like the braggadocious, like I'm the fucking best type shit.
It's why until a year and a half ago, people still really loved Quentin Tarantino, or let me put that different. Why until about a year and a half ago, people really loved Quentin Tarantino interviews.
Yeah, that's true. And it's interesting to see this, like, I mean, it's a period movie and it's interesting to see that very like 2000s era Kobe sensibility at like the very dawn of like American hyper-capitalism. Like Timmy Marty is a man who's like decades ahead of his time. Like a lot of these schemes he's getting away with and just like this like bouncing from just like hustle to hustle, just trying to take advantage of everyone around him is like only possible in like a sort of pre-surveillance like credit state where you can just like hustle $4 from a guy and that will like change your life,
Well,
Absolutely.
One other thing about this, like this point that you're making here is like the young money hustler ambition pilled thing today. It immediately reads, and I'm just like, you can think of like day trader, Miami Lamborghini day trader du jour. They are much like You Never See. You just assume that Timothée Chalamet is the greatest. Like they are asking you to buy into the fact that like all of this money is real. I got it from day trading. I am uniquely ambitious and good at day trading, and like thus you should like find my ambition to be like not a grift. But we read it, at least I think most people other than like suckers, see it as like a complete hoax where, and I don't know why. I mean, I guess because we're like so scared of scams or there's like the American dream has been, bleeding out on the floor for 20 years. I don't know.
I think there's a cynicism about a cult of personality type thing too. Like people are like, oh, everyone loves this guy who's rich. I bet he has some dirty laundry, like, and as far as as I'll say it again, the YMHs, the young money hustlers, like, I think this movie and Licorice Pizza are a good duo in that they're recent period pieces about contemporary grind set and how it's always been there in times of either economic desperation or economic like seemingly endless possibilities. Like Licorice Pizza, I think, is a much smarter movie about this, with the oil crisis in the background and moving from one scheme to another, and how the entrepreneurial American dream is about to completely be revealed as nothing and stupid. And that's why you have to hook up with an older woman instead of trying to run a business. Whereas this film, I think also, speaks to that. It's the desperation of post-war America and assimilation of Jewish post-war America as well. Like, I think that's a thread in the movie that I just got to watch the movie again before I say anything more about. I try not to take, well, first of all, I generally don't write about cultural identity stuff when I write, but as a Jew, I try not to just like write about Jewish issues in film like flippantly. So I'm going to give it another view before I come down anywhere on how this film operates as a portrait of post-war Jewish assimilation. But it's an interesting one. I'll say that.
Absolutely. I mean, I found one of the most affecting scenes in the movie, the bit where Timothée Chalamet and the guy who's playing the Hungarian ping pong star, I forget either the character or the actor's name, where they ostentatiously pick up the tab for Mr. Wonderful. I thought this is one of the best scenes in the movie.
I love this.
Mr. Wonderful comes over and he's like, "Who the fuck do you think you are?" Like, I can spot a bullshitter from a mile away. You're a bullshitter. And Timothy manages to charm him largely by way of having his Hungarian compatriot tell this like harrowing story about like diffusing bombs on behalf of the Nazis. And I don't want to spoil it too much, but I found that to be like a sort of profoundly affecting movie and a move in the movie. And what I like is like the 50s-ness, the post-warness of this movie is like hanging over every shot, everything that happens. And then there's also this echo out to the 80s. And I found that to be a very resonant thing. And the bit with the pyramids and where he brings a bit of the pyramid back to his mom as like the last good thing that happens in the movie. Like, I think there's a lot of interesting shit to get into there. Like
the pyramid thing to me, I could read it as part of that and also part of a continuing the mysticism of something like Uncut Gems. That scene that you just described though, with the flashback to the Holocaust, that's what I'm the most unsure about. It was incredibly gripping and incredibly harrowing. I'm unsure about how it's used dramatically, to be completely honest. But again, going to give it another viewing. The Mr. Wonderful thing. Now that's the thing. You corrected yourself earlier. You said Timmy, sorry, Marty. That's okay. Movie stars play themselves. Like when I talk about Cary Grant, I talk about Cary Grant. I don't remember his name in fucking His Girl Friday. But Mr. Wonderful, that's where we get into the limitations of the postmodern stunt casting. I think that it works really well in their previous 3 movies, Heaven Knows What, Good Time, and Uncut Gems, because they are hyper contemporary films. Uncut Gems, of course, is a period piece about 8 years before it takes place, you know, so it's like still within the realm where you can use the
pre-FanDuel.
Yeah, exactly.
Period piece.
The pre-FanDuel period piece. Actually, that might be the pre-FanDuel piece of media. That really hits different these days. Now that you're not getting porno ads or credit card offers while you're betting. But regardless, what was I getting at there?
The limits to Mr. Wonderful.
Yeah. So, like, I find their presence is a tiny bit distracting sometimes, and it's not a black and white thing either. Because I think that the guy at Patrick Ewing, who got famous off Nick's tape and is in this movie as one of Marty's partners, like that guy rules. I think that's an awesome performance, and Josh really fucking got a great performance out of him. Abel Ferrara, I'm never going to complain about Abel Ferrara being in a movie. That guy rules, but it does take me out of it a little bit because Abel Ferrara's didn't exist until crack cocaine existed, you know? And then you get Mr. Wonderful, who sucks. Like, I'm sorry, but like, it's good because you can believe that he is a despicable person because he's playing himself and you know that he's a despicable person. So that works for like a few scenes. But then he's asked to do some pretty heavy lifting on a dramatic level at the end when, spoiler alert, he makes a big to-do about being a vampire. And then it was revealed that this was a bit from fucking Shark Tank, where he's like, there's a tweet where he's like, I'm coming out as a vampire, everybody. And he's in a vampire costume. Yeah. And I'm like, this sucks dick. Like, I hate this. This makes me so mad, especially because if this is like a good actor, if this is Christopher Walken pulling an 11th hour, I'm actually a vampire, I believe it, honestly. I don't give a shit about this guy saying he's a vampire. And I saw some tweets that were like, if you notice, you never see him in the sunlight and he has to be invited in somewhere. And I'm like, fuck you. That's the dumbest thing ever. And I think that like they can just vaguely gesture toward mysticism in a way that really pisses me off because it's so open for interpretation that it's lazy to me. However, there are tendencies toward a new Jewish American fiction that I really appreciate in their work. And like, it's very Philip Roth-ish in some aspects. And then some is like, would Philip Roth have a fucking conniption fit if he saw this, you know? So I don't know.
I agree with you about that final the only place where Mr. Wonderful let me down was in that final monologue he has with Timmy, or that final kind of "I'm a vampire, I've been here forever," and Timmy delivers this amazing, like, just like rolls his eyes at him, which is
It's like, Dan, that's crazy.
Yeah, he's like, I don't give a fuck about you, basically. But that scene was so load bearing. Like, if that had been perfect, it would have been like, whoa, what the fuck? Like, okay, let's if you listeners, if you think Eddie's gotten some fire takes off, some hot spicy takes off already, we haven't even queued him up for the biggest one he texted us, which is you wanted to put this film in conversation with another film that I really loved that we've talked about already. The 2022
I'm
Netflix,
pulling it up right now to be sure. 2022, yeah.
2022 Netflix film Hustle.
Yes.
The Juancho Hernan Gomez vehicle.
The
Juancho Hernan Gomez vehicle. Yes. Yes. They built it around him. Yeah. There's actually there's a couple posters with him on it, with Sandler not even on it, and I kind of want to get one of those, like, framed. You know?
That's awesome. Well, so to tell me, I queued you up. What is your take around these two films?
And I've already kind of hinted at it here, and it's that Hustle's a better sports movie. I think that Marty Supreme is a slightly better filmic aesthetic object. Slightly. I'm going
better.
3.5 to 3. Like, I think Hustle's a 3, Marty Supreme's a 3.5 on my objective sabermetric scale. Yeah. Like, I'm working with some crazy stuff, like thinking basketball style. You have to subscribe to my Patreon to get my advanced metrics on movies. But yeah, so Hustle, I just think works better as a sports movie. I think the rivalry between Ant and Hernan Gomez is awesome. It's definitely a piece of uncut gem exploitation. Like, Netflix was like, here, you guys don't do a normal Happy Madison movie, do an Uncut Gems. And they're like, all right, we'll hire an outside director. We're not going to get one of the usual Sandler comedy directors. And it's just like, it's a really solid movie. It's just really fun. And it just hits the beats that you want sports movies to hit, including just like awesome close-up trash talking of Ant covered in sweat. And it was like his fucking coming out party to me. Like, I thought he was awesome his rookie year. He shoots this, I guess, right after his rookie year, probably, because it probably takes a year in post, you know. And I'm like, this dude's, you know, not to go Bill Simmons mode, face of the league, you know.
Absolutely.
No, I know, but like, it's stupid to say that kind of stuff, but it really made me fall in love with Ant. I was just like, this guy rules.
No,
Harry, I wanted to ask, as I haven't seen Hustle, but you two have. Harry, I wanted you to tell me, what is the character of Ant? What is his journey in the movie?
He is the heavy. So he Mr. Hernan Gomez is the kind of star, or is the sort of the character that we're supposed to fall in love with. He was kind of picked. It's really queuing in on this hilarious part of the rich constellation of NBA, like, things dorks on NBA Twitter tweet about, but like it is like Adam Sandler plays like one of those special European scouts that goes to like weird corners of Europe.
My dream job.
The next Giannis. Yeah. I think
and
you
finds
and
him
him
in Juancho Hernan Gomez.
Yeah. You would, exactly. Finds the next Juancho Hernan Gomez. Exactly. Like, literally. And Ant is but then somehow in this universe, like, he's this European prodigy that was like undiscovered until the Combine, which is a little bit of kind of movie magic, but that's okay. Ant is like the high powered, you know, number one player. And I'm trying to remember like what actually Ant's journey is. The main thing that Ant is there to do is be like the worst case scenario if your confidence could possibly be shattered in a high pressure basketball moment. Like, who is the last guy you would want to be like pissed at you? And it's Ant. And he's just like, I don't even remember if this is true, if I'm just making this up. He's like making jokes or everybody's laughing. He's like destroying him. He's like asserting a sort of like, I'm actually, not only am I dunking on you and embarrassing you, but I'm actually like better at basketball than you. Like, my team's winning.
And he's like, flirting or waving at his, not flirting, that would be sus. He's waving at his little daughter in the stands and stuff, like as if like, you know, your daughter likes me better than you because I just dunked on you kind of thing. Like basically Juancho Hernan-Gomez, they try to almost predate the Wemby Chet thing where it's like these NBA prospects forming a rivalry in these exhibition games that scouts are at and everything. And the cast is really funny. Kenny Smith has a lot of acting to do in this movie, not as himself. He's like one of the main he's one of the main
very
coaches.
Strange.
It's because it's like 1,000 NBA guys playing themselves, right? You know, you look at the IMDb on this and everyone is just like their name next to their name, you know, because they're playing themselves, except for Kenny Smith, who plays Leon. Just no last name, just Leon. But Robert Duvall plays the Sixers owner in this, legendary actor Robert Duvall, who plays kind of he's like a hybrid owner GM style kind of guy. He's kind of a Maury stand-in more than an actual owner stand-in. And, you know, he's given Sandler the business because he's like, I like your scouting, but man, if you miss with one of these Euro guys one more time, I tell you what, you know. And so Sandler like is putting everything into Juancho Hernan-Gomez and, you know, balancing his family life and falls in love with Queen Latifah. And it's all fun. Jaleel White, aka Urkel, is the VP of player personnel for the Sixers.
Currently, he's the current VP.
He is the current VP of player personnel. Yeah, Trill is very mad about this development, you know, but it's gonna work out, I think.
I gotta watch this movie. This sounds great.
No, it is it's a great sports movie, and it has they shoot the basketball in a very fun way. Like it's and
it's not an Adam Sandler movie if Dan Patrick doesn't show up. He's in like every Adam Sandler movie, weirdly.
Go ahead. No. I
was gonna just say there's like a weird new one, like I don't even know what to call this specific thing, and maybe we'll get famous enough for this to happen, but like the studio where Matt Bellany plays himself in the studio. Like what are we calling that kind of like podcast personality method acting?
That is so weird because that shows up in the new Sandler movie. That shows up in Happy Gilmore. Happy Gilmore 2 is like Benny Safdie goes on the podcast tour. Like he goes on the podcast circuit and he's hanging out with like Bobby Lee and shit. Like, and like one of the Barstool cronies. I don't know. Like some real guys playing themselves. He goes on Cameron's podcast at one point. And so this is like the new version of how like all those newscasters would show up as themselves in like superhero movies, like in like Watchmen or whatever, when Charlie Rose shows up.
Yeah.
Like, I guess that's just the new version of that. And I really hope that one day in a basketball movie, like when Steven Soderbergh makes his next indie basketball movie, there's like a cutaway to, you know, the rising star in the NBA pulling out his iPad and watching Patrick and Harry, you know, talking about something crazy with the guy from How to Dress Well. And it's like, damn, shit's really popping off in the NBR verse right now.
Yeah. This is a note to all scouts listening. If you find out that a prospect listens to nothing but respect, do not draft them.
Yeah.
They will bust.
He is not ready.
Yeah. I'm glad we're talking about Ant because Ant is like this interesting figure vis-a-vis Marty Supreme in a lot of ways because he's wearing the sweatshirt. He's like kind of orthogonally involved in the marketing, but also like you said, is like the current player who like most embodies the kind of like virtues of Marty. Like I talked about this before, but like being in the same room as him during a press conference at the playoffs last year was like, I get the aura thing. Like this guy just has like a magnetism, and like Marty in a lot of ways, something that is like particularly magnetic about him is like, he's not really like, he doesn't go up there with a plan. He isn't like, okay, John Krasinski is going to ask me about like Jaden's big game and here's the line I'm going to deliver. He's just sitting up there and standing and delivering. And it's like that, like, I think what we like in both athletes and movie stars to a certain degree is like this ability to be like free from self-doubt. Like it's great to see someone who's just like, oh, they're up there just fucking doing their thing. So I guess
it would be sick to have confidence, you know, like,
but it is and I, you know, we're not going to get to it on the bottom at the end of this episode, but like even with the Mr. Wonderful stuff, I'm like, why? Because there's a certain confidence in that performance, or whatever. It's like, why do certain people get the pass to be this insane totem of braggadocious success that we hold those people up, and then like I think athletes in general do get the pass in a way that is as it should be. Like that's a fun part of sports, is you get to these people work as insanely fucking hard, and they should be like celebrating their thing. But I can't quite figure out why we don't. I mean, like to you had this point in your review. You said Timothée Chalamet is basically perfect for this role, embodying the pretty boy version of bozo narcissism. That for some reason critics seem to get really up in arms about when the trait carries over from athletes to artists. And that for some reason, I think, is the thing. I'm like, what? Yeah, like, what the fuck? Why is that? Why
it's because it's honestly because arts people still think there's a difference between arts and sports people, and there's not. It's like Richard Linklater fucking was around in the 90s. Like, there's no reason to pretend that, like, if you're an artsy kid, you can't also be obsessed with basketball. Like if a starting infielder for a D1 college baseball team can like go make avant-garde films, then like you can do both. It's not a big deal,
Yeah.
I have two final notes on Marty. One, I did not realize that Kemba Walker and Tracy McGrady are in this movie briefly.
I
as
did not
cameos.
spot them.
You're fucking.
They're in it very briefly. Two,
Kemba Walker and
Kemba
Tracy
Walker.
McGrady are in
yes.
Marty
Kemba,
Supreme.
that makes sense. Kemba makes sense for Josh Safdie, though. That's like an extremely Josh Safdie pick. Yeah.
I believe you. I just like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Tracy and Kemba. The second thing is, okay, we mentioned challengers earlier. I also love challengers. I even like when they put the camera in the tennis ball and shoot it from underneath. Like, if you're going to do a goofy, like very funny but serious, like sports movie that sort of goes for camp and I think mostly achieves it, like put the camera in the tennis ball. But we've seen sexy tennis movie scored by Trent Reznor, occasionally sexy ping pong movie scored by OPN. 2027 sexy pickleball movie, and they're gonna get Fred again to do the score, and people are gonna be like, this will schism a certain sort of like wised up sports and movie high culture low culture person, and it will create a hilarious rift online. Harry is like ascending right now.
That's such because dude, like Fred again, even just like Fred again scoring a movie is so genius. Like, do you remember the on the Young Thug mixtape Slime Season 2? There is a song that is produced by the like funk EDM duo Treasure Fingers. And it's a banger.
That's a disgusting name.
That Harry Krinsky sentence.
But it just like me on the blogs, like it had this effect where I was like, Treasure Fingers fucking did the Young Thug song. That's like how an LLM can like beat a 12-year-old at chess with like 3 GPUs. But if we do like enough GPUs to like split the planet in half, then we can maybe like generate some shareholder value.
Yeah.
That's Fred again doing a pickleball movie.
And you know what? I think it could work.
No,
like
same, yeah.
I think it could totally work.
Mm-hmm.
And much like okay, this is only scarcely connected, but did you guys see May December?
Yes.
I haven't, no.
I fucking loved that movie. And one of the funniest jokes I saw in film that year was okay, I guess spoilers for May December. the reveal at the very end that like the movie Natalie Portman is making with this like insane method thing where she like basically sleeps with all the protagonists is like this like low grade B movie, like scarcely above porn parody version of it. And it's so fucking funny to see someone be like, I'm an actress and I'm doing techniques, only to be revealed that it's like kind of a piece of shit. I think that sensibility could be applied to this fictional pickleball movie where it's like, you see the training montages, you see them like blend the green smoothie, like have their 3 stretching coaches working them out. And then they're just like standing in front of the net, like dink, dink, dink.
Yeah,
dink.
just like very austerely shoot the actual pickleball. Everything else is highly stylized. Yeah.
Yeah.
The
that would be awesome.
Who should be in it? Who should be?
I'm trying to think of who is like the least cool, like the worst excuse for a movie star, like Zoe Deutsch or whatever her name is. She would be in it, or Elia Kazan's granddaughter, Zoe Kazan, or Zoe Deutsch would be the female lead, and the male lead, I think you get a streamer in there. I think you get like the screen debut of like
Kai
Hassan.
Cenat.
Or
Yeah.
Kai Cenat. Yeah, if you're going big budget, you get Kai. Man.
Yeah,
Like,
maybe smaller.
or Speed, or maybe you
Yeah.
go Speed on there. You know, yeah.
I like the idea of the New York stunt casting. You know, there's the leftist tennis club that is very critical of pickleball. We get a few of them to play the sort of heavies, which are the like pro tennis lefty terrorist organization that's like blowing up pickleball courts.
Well, I think the niche stunt casting needs to continue. You know, I don't know if you guys caught wind of EFIS from earlier this year, the baseball movie.
I wanted to ask you about this actually because you worked on it.
You got Will Menaker in there, you got Amber Frost in there, Will Sennett. You know, it's a modern classic, and I did
incredible
work on it,
sports movie. Like
so absolutely. Good. That's the poetic love of the game type movie that I really am just like so proud to have been involved with, because
you should be.
Man, I would have been pissed if they didn't call me.
Have you guys seen, speaking of we're in just outside of different world.
Oh, we're past an hour. We can say whatever.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
We
We're
haven't even gotten to the Lakers yet.
Yeah, exactly. But Will's sort of commitment to doing a kind of Brace Belden style tweet campaign to get hired has been great. So I hope he gets hired. I think he's fucking funny as shit.
Absolutely.
Okay,
Will
you're
is
right.
The funniest person on the internet. I'm just going to say Will Sennett of the Timothy Chalamet "I Will Strike You Out" tweet / video.
Oh right, I forgot. There's
the funniest man to ever do it on the internet.
Dude, he really he's
I love his work.
Yeah, big fan as well. Come on the pod, Will Sennett.
Oh yeah.
Okay, let's talk a little bit of Lakers before we get you out of here. We have lamented the how sad it must have been for Mavs fans to lose Luka Doncic, but we have not really spent a ton of time talking about what it felt like to receive Luka Doncic.
Yeah.
What walk me through this as a Lakers fan? Like what happened?
Man. A night I will never forget. It's like JFK, you know, everyone knows where they were at 9/11, whatever. So I was at this
people
theater.
Are calling it good 9/11.
Yeah, people in LA are calling it good 9/11. The rest of the NBA, it's like it's 9/11. So I was at this small shoebox theater in East Hollywood called The Yard, watching a small play that one of my friends had written and another friend of mine was in. And right as the lights were going down, right before the lights were going, and I was not yet on the Real app. I was on ESPN refreshing scores. And
as it should be.
I think I'm caught up with everything. I put my phone away because I never want to get shushed about a phone at a production. So I put my phone away the second the clock strikes whatever o'clock. And then the aforementioned Amber Frost pulls out her phone and shows it to me. And Nate, the co-writer of EFIS, says, "Is this real? Is this good?" That's what he said. He said, "Is this good?" And I'm like, "Oh no, it's not real. Like, it's not real at all. That would be awesome, but it's not real."
They spelled Shams' name wrong.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I look at it for 1 second. I'm like, "Yeah, that's not real. That's not real." And then they put the phone away. The lights go down. I'm like, "Wait, is that fucking real? That can't be fucking real." And so I don't pay attention at all to the play. You know, the play ends. I immediately turn my phone on. If it was a bigger theater, I would have excused myself and went to the restroom. But there's like 20 people in the audience. You know, and then I'm outside and everyone's congratulating each other on the play, and I'm just ecstatic. I'm just like, we got fucking Luka for AD, and we didn't have to give up Max Christie, my least favorite draft pick in ages. Fuck Max Christie. We got Luka. I was ecstatic. I stayed up all night. Like,
and yet, the Lakers are ass. Like,
All right, well, 19-10 is not exactly ass, but I know what you
have
mean.
you watched the team play?
Yes,
It's like
yes,
they
it's bad.
Dog, Maxime Reynaud is getting run out. Like it's Precious Achua is getting shit run for him, and he's hitting these like half hooks over their supposed rim. Like, I find this Lakers team to be, I guess ass is too strong, but like they are bad in a very like, as a hater, a really enjoyable way where it's like they are incendiary on offense, other than like LeBron just standing perfectly stationary and pointing. But like the Reeves thing, I think is totally real. That guy's awesome. Like Luka's doing Luka stuff, and yet like I'm struck by this like incredible and like very joyful sense of that, like none of this shit matters because these guys can't stop anyone on defense. Like I never wanted to be
on one of those teams where it's like, so you just have to get to 130 or so every game to win. Like I didn't want that. I didn't want that to be my team. It is, and it's extremely scary. And I was highly doubtful going into the season, and I still am. Like the results have been way better than I thought they would be. And I think JJ is a hell of a coach. So good. But LeBron's the problem. I mean, this is the maybe it's me tweet all over again. You know, maybe it is him. And it is. And it's because like he's untradeable. Like you can't, there's no good deals. You cannot get a good deal. You can't get anything back for LeBron at this point. Like before the season started, I was fantasizing about getting like fucking Jared Allen for him or something like that. Now you watch LeBron play, it's like, what the fuck? Well, we would also have to give up fucking Austin Reeves or something. Like it's just not happening, you know? So I worry. I think that we are probably going to take the L this year. I am praying for a LeBron BPD meltdown and or a trade request / demand because I trust in Pelinka. I didn't trust him for a very long time. I now have my full faith in this front office to like pull some insane shit out of their ass to make this a more complete team. Because if we get a guard who can defend and a real big, it's a great team, I think. A real big is not DeAndre Ayton. I think his offensive numbers have been very real this year. He is not a real big. I am not an Ayton guy. I knew I would not be an Ayton guy, and it has not proven me in any direction. I like the value of his contract. That's the most I can say about DeAndre Ayton.
I'm going to say something possibly controversial, but I just have to say that this is my truth. The DeAndre Ayton press conferences are so disconcerting and scary to me.
Yeah.
They remind me in a pretty direct way of the press conferences from that guy Kai Jones who left the league for doing TikTok dances and sort of like going like, you know, having a sort of some kind of mental episode.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
They remind me of those. Like he seems okay. I'm joking. Like he doesn't seem like he's having like a literal.
No, he has a terminal case of loser mindset. That's what he has.
And like, but just like it reminds me of people you work with where you're like they'll do just like the most ridiculous, you know, antisocial behavior, and they'll be like, oh yeah, that, you know, that's Steve. Like, yeah, he just like fucking tomahawks his lunch tray instead of putting it in the trash because like he's just, you know, whatever, but he's amazing at data security or whatever. Like that is what it seems like they've got going on with Ayton, where it's like, yeah, he answers like every press conference with a sort of, he pulls out like an inspector microscope and like starts looking at the other people in the eyes. But that's Ayton. That's what he's doing. And like,
yeah.
Did you see JJ trying to run cover for that with the lion t-shirt? When JJ was like, he needs to be lion. I'm like, dude, this is the most embarrassing thing. Like, JJ, I think you are a brilliant strategist and a horrible, like one of the worst press conference guys of all time, despite being a podcaster.
Yeah, the Ayton. Did you remember the Ayton anecdote when there was a big profile of him after the Suns lost the finals, where he was just like, "Yeah, I really just love staying up till 4 a.m. with my cousins in the Bahamas and playing video games." And the thing that was alarming about that was not that he was staying up till 4 a.m. to play video games with his cousins in the Bahamas, but that he thought that was like a thing that you would just say to a reporter.
Yeah,
and he like didn't have the self-awareness to like he clearly wasn't aware of like the perception of him or like how like an athlete should sort of conduct themselves publicly. But like, even having established my hater bona fides, I don't think any of this will matter, because like the thing that makes the Luka trade great is that you like shift your timeline to the right 10 years. It's like, they all kind of understand this is a LeBron gap year kind of thing. And like, whether or not, like, however they figure out the Reeves free agency, like the point of the Luka trade is to try to win the title in 26-27 with like, when you can actually build a Luka team. And like, that explains LeBron's weird summer where he does the always passive aggressive thing of just like, well, maybe if I'm not wanted over there, I'll go play somewhere where I'm actually desired. And like, okay, like that to me is him understanding this is Luka's team.
Yeah, I mean, I am an accelerationist in the sense that within 3 hours of hearing about the trade, I was making every fake LeBron trade I could. You know, I was like, all right, so we got rid of AD, now we get rid of LeBron. We're running a 2K franchise here. I'm like, I'm just figuring out how to rebuild right away. And the fact that we kept Austin Reeves is insane. Like, that's amazing. Because like, I would have traded him in the offseason. It's like, yeah, you trade him for a guy who knows how to defend guards. You try to, sell high on him before what I thought would be a decline. But it's like, wait, no, he's actually getting better. I thought he was going to be one of those guys that just kind of peaks at age 25, kind of, because it's like, how much better can you really get at what he does? It turns out you can get a lot better at what he does still, which is crazy. And the biggest surprise of the year for me. It's like they just can't keep holding on to LeBron. It's the future. We just need to make way for tomorrow. So the sooner the better on that, to actually make it a real basketball team, because the Lakers that starting five is far from a real basketball team in the 2025 version of the NBA.
When you see the clips, which do exist despite the state Laker apparatus suppression techniques of Luka, let's say, not giving it his all on defense, what's your concern level? Like, as like, okay, this is my guy. The AI men's health images and copy are exactly, Patrick forgot about it. They are a bygone era. Is there any concern around like, are we sure I want to be wedded to this
zero concern for me.
I think
that Luka is 3 years ago I would have said thinking about cheeseburgers on defense, and now I will say thinking about his next bucket on offense while he's on defense. His offensive game is like nothing I've ever seen. Especially as a Laker fan, like I've just never had, he was my favorite non-Laker the night before the trade even, so it's like getting my favorite player is just like insane to me. And part of it is because he was a fat white guy who couldn't keep up on defense, and despite that, he is like all-time PER god, kind of like, and like, that's sick. I love watching him play. He's incredibly creative, and to me, he's aesthetically satisfying on offense. Some people don't like his offensive game, and I'm like, are you insane? Some of those passes are just unfucking thinkable. It just really comes down to building a team around him and getting three guys who can defend, getting good rim protection, a guy who can defend wings, and a guy who can defend guards,
Yeah, and like we've seen the blueprint for like how to build a Luka team, and his particular offensive gifts make that like slightly simpler than it would be in many other cases. Like the team the Mavs built was like, Gafford and Lively are like I guess the version of Lively whose legs were still attached was like, that's like a good pair of bigs, but like neither one of them are like $60 million a year. Like you have to compromise other parts of your team to get them.
He could have done that with like washed Clint Capella.
Yeah, exactly.
Dude, totally.
And like the thing about Luka that like makes any of the skepticism, I think, totally bunk is like, he is a total killer in the playoffs. He's not quite Jokic level, but he's one of these guys who there's not like one scheme that works against him. You can't just have like a reliable way to take him out because he's like this, just the pick and roll genius. Like he can make every pass. So I think you should be very excited and happy. And I cannot wait to watch them lose 4-1 to the Rockets in like a total ass kicking in the spring.
That Rockets matchup was disgusting on Christmas. That was like a big wake up call. I mean, I already knew the team was flawed, and that we would be bad against young, wingy, athletic teams. We had seen it so far. Oh boy, are the Rockets built to beat the Lakers? And maybe you're not supposed to be built to beat the 4th or 5th best team in the West, but boy, are they built to beat the Lakers.
All right, I think that's everything I got.
Can I have one more take here?
Oh yeah.
And this is as a Lakers fan and as a pessimistic Jewish Lakers fan at that. Stop putting the Lakers on Christmas. No more Christmas Day Lakers. I'm fine with it. Take it away. They're 25-27. The best Kobe memory I have on Christmas is like him going 10 for 35 or something like that. It just doesn't work for me. Just get rid of them. It's too much. I'll concede it to the rest of the league. I know that they cover the Lakers way too much on every platform. So take one of the games away from us.
You know what? I'm going the other way. The Christmas Day is about the Shield. It's about us standing up for the league against football, against, everything else. Give me every big name. There's like, oh, the Pistons should be on. Fuck the Pistons. No. I don't get, how about move to a big city with a cool superstar? Well, I know they have cool superstars, but I want big brands everywhere. Yeah. All the time.
Yeah, the only problem with NBA Christmas was that the Cavs were playing and not the Heat.
Exactly.
We need the big franchises. Like getting the Mavs in there was a genius move.
Yep.
Like we just need big markets on big markets. It's all about money.
We need a cryptocurrency attached to the NBA Christmas Day game ratings that we can trade year over year. Okay, well.
Thank you for joining us, Eddie.
Yes,
that was a lot of fun.
No, I'm honored to be here. You guys were on a real hot streak. The last couple episodes have been fire. The Tom episodes are like canon, all time or pod of the year contenders. And so I was very glad to come on here. Thank you guys for having me.
Yeah, appreciate you.
Where I guess I plugged you at the top, but where
I'll run through it again. So I'm primarily a film critic, but I write about other shit too. Vintageviolence.substack.com is where I write. A lot of big stuff coming in the new year. Kind of expanding coverage a little bit, going slightly more lit mag mode in a way. More news on that in Q2. But I've been doing my podcast Extended Clip since 2019, and I'm gonna keep doing it. So listen to it. Classic, 2 episodes a week, 1 paywalled. As I said earlier, I try to take a historical approach. So it's like I review maybe 20 new movies a year, and the rest is about film history and why it still matters today. So if you like movies, watch old movies. That's my big plug. Watch old movies and then check out my stuff.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. And I will say, I mean, I think you originally got on my radar a few years ago. In one part Twitter handle, one part you had it published an end of year list that had Red Rooms on it, which continues to be. I think you had a number 1, number 2. I remember finding it from you, and it's like it's probably 1 or 2 of my in the top 5 of my favorite movies of the decade. So.
It is up there for the decade for sure. I published there's a best films of the decade so far list on there that you guys can check out, and Red Room's placed pretty high on that. It's a fantastic thriller.
God, that movie fucking freaked me out.
It's kind of like how I feel when I'm like really deep in the trade machine, and then like also have another tab open with like the apron restrictions, and I'm also listening to YKB, and there's a game on. That's how I feel. Like that's like the climax of Red Rooms.
Yes. It's really funny. All right, Patrick, anything from you?
No, just Happy New Year, everyone.
Happy New Year. Oh, yeah, it's my birthday. Wish me happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Shit, happy birthday. Wait, today is your birthday?
Literally, today is my birthday.
Yo, wow.
Happy birthday, dog.
Harry.
Yeah. I'm going to Nets Warriors tonight to celebrate.
Oh, shit, dude. Good for you.
Sick.
Yeah.
Good for you, man.
Warriors might even win that one.
I know. We'll see.
The DeAnthony Melton revenge game.
Yeah.
Wait, well, sort of
Patrick,
on himself.
are you in Sacramento, Patrick?
Not currently. I was for the holidays. I live in the Bay Area.
Oh, you live in the Bay. Okay, cool. Yeah. No, because I was looking at it, and it's cheaper for me to drive to Sacramento and go to a Kings game than to see a Lakers or Clippers game.
Oh my God.
Which is
Because
crazy.
we value working class ethics, and the dollar. Biden inflation has not hit Sacramento. We still believe in that. The good economy. So
the Clippers used to be where struggling writers could go watch basketball games, but no longer.
All right.